Hey everyone! Ever watched a cricket match and wondered, how does that ball fly so fast? Or seen a car zoom by and thought, what's making it go? Well, it all boils down to one amazing thing, force. And in this explainer, we're going to unpack it all. So let's jump right in.
So here's what we've got lined up for you. First, we'll tackle the big question. What makes things move? Then we'll meet this whole invisible family of forces. After that, we're diving into some real magic, forces super helpers. These are simple machines, and trust me, you'll see how they literally build our world. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, so really, let's just pause and think about it. Picture this, a cricket ball soaring for a six, or a car speeding down the highway. You've even seen a bullet cart, right? Just moving along at its own pace. What is that invisible push or pull that makes all of this happen? What's the secret? And you know what? The answer is so simple, it's brilliant. It's called force. That's it. Every time you push a door open or pull your bag towards you, yep, that's force. It's the secret ingredient behind everything that moves. Simple as that. Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. Force isn't just one single thing. Think of it more like a big family, where every member has a different, important job. So let's go and meet the members of this invisible force family that are all around us all the time. First up, we have muscular force. This one's easy. It's your power, the power in your own body. When you lug that heavy school bag or smash a football into the goal, or even when a potter shapes a beautiful pot from clay, that's all coming from the force in your muscles. All right, next up is the big boss, gravitational force. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like planet Earth is giving you a giant, nonstop hug. It's the only reason we're not all floating off into space. This constant pull is what keeps our feet planted right here on the ground. And there are others too. There's frictional force. That's the reason a rolling ball eventually stops. And more importantly, it's why you don't slip and fall with every step you take. And who can forget elastic force? You know that feeling when you stretch a rubber band? That snap-back power? That's it. Now, this is super important. Force doesn't just make things start moving. It can also change the direction of something that's already moving. The perfect example? Cricket, of course. The ball is coming towards the batsman, right? It's already moving fast, but with one powerful swing, bam, he applies force and completely changes its direction. Okay, so now we get what force is. But what if I told you there are these amazing tools, kind of like superpowers, that can take your own force and make it way, way stronger? Well, get ready because we're about to meet them. They're called simple machines. So what's the big deal about simple machines? Well, they help us do hard work, but with less effort. Imagine trying to lift a huge rock. Tough, right? But with the right tool, you can do it easily. They're basically force multipliers. They make you stronger. And our first stop on this tour of super helpers is maybe the most famous one of all, the lever. What is it? Honestly, it's just a long stick or a rod that rests on a single point. That's it. But trust me, depending on how you set it up, this simple stick can do some incredible things. Now, to understand any lever, you just need to know 3 words. Ready? There's the load. That's the heavy thing you want to move. There's the effort. That's the push or pull you're giving. And then there's the fulcrum. That's the balancing point. Just remember, load, effort, fulcrum. Got it? Good. All right, let's meet the first type. This is the first-class lever. The rule here is simple. The fulcrum is in the middle. It's sandwiched between your effort and the load. Look at these scissors. They're a perfect example. The screw in the middle, that's your fulcrum, right there in the center. And you see these things all the time, probably without even thinking about it. A seesaw at the park? Total first-class lever. Pliers from a toolbox? Yep. Even a crowbar that workers use to lift heavy stuff. It's the same idea. Okay, moving on to number 2, the second-class lever. Now we're shuffling things around. This time, the load is the one in the middle. So it goes fulcrum, then load, then your effort. The best way to picture this? Think of a wheelbarrow.
Let's break that down. With a wheelbarrow, the wheel at the front is the fulcrum. The heavy stuff, the load, is in the middle, and you lift it from the handles at the back. That's your effort. You know what else works like this? A bottle opener and those nutcrackers you might use. Same exact principle.
And last but not least, we have our third-class lever. Can you guess what's in the middle this time? It's your effort. Your push or pull happens right between the fulcrum and the load, and these tongs are a fantastic everyday example. A fishing rod is a brilliant one. The very end you hold is the fulcrum, The fish on the line is the load, and you apply the effort somewhere in the middle to pull it up. Forceps that a doctor might use, or the tongs we use in the kitchen. All third-class levers.
So, that's the whole story on levers. But wait, there's more. That family of super helpers has a few other clever members. Let's go meet a couple more, shall we?
Okay, now this is really clever. You know what an inclined plane is, right? It's just a ramp. Makes it easier to push things up. But what if you took 2 of those ramps and stuck them together, back to back? What do you get? You get a wedge, just like an axe head. And what's an axe for? Splitting things apart. See how that works?
Next, we have the pulley. It's basically just a wheel with a rope on it, but its magic trick is amazing. It changes the direction of the force. So imagine trying to pull a heavy bucket of water straight up out of a well. It's tough, but with a pulley, you just pull down on the rope. So much easier.
And finally, let's talk about the screw. And this will blow your mind. A screw is just an inclined plane, a ramp, wrapped around a cylinder. That's all it is. But that simple twist creates so much power. Get this, a little thing called a screw jack uses this idea to lift up an entire car. You, with very little effort, can lift a car. How cool is that?
So, okay, we've talked about levers, wedges, pulleys, screws, all these little bits in pieces. They're cool on their own, for sure, but now let's connect the dots and see why all of this is so incredibly important in the real world. I want you to look at this bicycle. It seems pretty complicated, doesn't it? Lots of moving parts. But if you look closer, it's just a bunch of simple machines all working together as a team. The pedals are a type of wheel and axle, the brake handles are levers. And that's the big secret. All our big, complex machines are built using these simple, clever ideas.
All right, so I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. Right now, wherever you are, just stop for a second and look around you. I bet you can spot tons of simple machines. The doorknob is a type of lever. The scissors on your desk, we know that one. The screws in your chair. How many can you find? Because I promise you, once you start looking for them, you'll suddenly see that they are absolutely everywhere.